actually just came to visit.
Hi,
She's an activist on her own. She has charitable organizations. She does a lot in her community. And I know that she's definitely going to be a part of the Black Doll Association. And also she will be partnering with me to launch. She's more connected in the I guess in the Toronto, Mississauga, like this area, this space. Okay. So she has more links into the environment and into the community than I even do. So she will be the one who
she's boots on the ground.
Who's on the boots on the ground, right? So and you wanna say hi? Her name is Khadija. She's on Clubhouse too. I've told her to go follow you on Clubhouse and everything because she's gonna want to, but she's gonna be
How are you?
I'm well. I love y'all's energy. Love it.
This is us.
We've been best friends since we were like 12 years old.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How old are you now, if you don't mind my asking? 20.
We are both 48.
Yeah.
48. Black don't crack.
Yeah, Black don't crack. And you, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I just turned 50, May 1st.
Oh my goodness! This is real Black don't crack.
This is our time. This is our time.
This is our time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I gotta tell you, I don't know how long you guys have been on Clubhouse. I've been on going about 90 days.
Maybe she's been on a week. I've been on maybe 2 weeks, but it's crazy. It's amazing.
What is it? How do you describe it?
So, see, this is what I think Clubhouse is. For some of us who've been doing network marketing for over 15 years, going conferences, listening to spotlight speakers, professionals in their field talking, and having lost that because of COVID.
Yeah.
Those people, we needed a space. People that needed to share and give and support and offer help and just be heard, needed a space. And somehow I think Clubhouse just fit that bill. And so I was inspired when she says, join Clubhouse. And I was like, gosh,
not another one
in there. And I said to her, this is like, voila, I'm back to my
regular
self, where you choose where to go, where to go speak, where to go hear someone speak. You want to learn, you want to share, yeah, that's what Clubhouse is. So I think that's why for people like us, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, let's know people more like her, because she's the one who's like in her community. She's I think one of the few Black women in her community.
Actually, the only
Clubhouse community, or your Ontario community?
No, Ontario. In her city in Ontario. She's in a really small community, and they're predominantly white in that community. So she's.
I'm the only Black business in the
and Muslim too. So she wears like a scarf and everything, and she's doing she's penetrated the whole community.
Well, I think it's because when you come from big cities and you know why you go downsizing and you want to have that break, you have the confidence when you choose where you want to go. And what they're not used to is someone coming in and having that kind of confidence
and strength. Yeah,
and that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, I think they're getting more and more used to it.
They have no choice.
Listen, we live in the Black Girl Magic era.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. And how lucky we are to do it. When we first got started with the Black Doll Affair, it was 2007. Yeah. And Black Girls Rock had just started.
Yeah.
It was very hard to find Black dolls and Toys R Us, let alone
anywhere else.
I remember you, man. I told Ines, I remember.
Did you?
I remember Oprah talked about it, didn't she?
Yeah, Oprah did. Yeah, she did. Yes.
We just left the States in 2006, and in 2007, I think that was your first Christmas, right?
Yep, 2007.
2007, yes.
I remember.
Yeah. What city were you in, Khadija?
Vancouver at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were when we left in 2005.
You mean in the States?
In the States.
We were in Michigan, then Omaha.
Yeah, so we were in Michigan for a while together.
Yeah.
And then eventually came back here because we were originally Canadians, but our spouses were doing, well, my ex-spouse and her spouse we're doing stuff in the United States. Actually, both my kids are American because
I lived there for a while.
American, so her baby's American and both mine are American. So
Omaha. I'm an Oklahoma girl.
Omaha. Oh my gosh,
you're a Western girl.
Yeah, we were just in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I know, boring. Thank you. Yeah, okay.
Is it Eni? Eni. Okay, Eni. All right, girls. So we got it. So, I have a feeling the three of us could talk all afternoon.
I know, right?
wait a minute. First of all, I want to say this before we get started. Eni, you have a twin.
I do?
Yes. Shalom Israel Diggs. Tay Diggs' sister is an honorary member of our family.
Huh.
And you all are twinsies.
Really? We
Yeah.
look alike?
You sound alike, the energy.
Oh my
you look
God.
alike.
Really?
Oh my God.
The moment we met her, she just had this big, huge smile and personality, and she's a dancer.
Wow.
So, and I'm just getting that same shalom.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
She's a sweet girl. She's a sweet girl.
So it's shalom. So that's a
Oh, that's amazing. Wow, that'd be great. Well, maybe I will meet this twin of mine. I will look for her and see if we actually, sometimes people say you look alike. And then you're like, I don't see it. But people outside of you can see it.
No, when you see it, you see it.
Yeah, but when you see it, you see it. And like, oh,
You'll
wow,
see it,
cool.
and you sound alike too, which is interesting.
Really?
Wow.
That is so odd.
Yeah.
What do you call a time twin? What do they call them? It's an R word. I forget it now.
And it's getting common because I've noticed one or two on TikTok as well, where they've come together, even done DNA testing, no relationship.
Really? And they look just alike.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's so
Okay.
weird. I know what term it'll come to us.
Yeah, it'll come. You know what I'm looking for, right?
You know what
I'm
I
looking
know. I've heard it. But I can't remember.
why is it okay? Well, as we speak, it'll come. I know
Yeah.
we're trying too hard now.
Well, I'm thinking doppelganger.
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 That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got a doppelganger.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's wow. Okay.
All right, dolls. So
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about the Black Doll affair.
Okay.
And then we'll open it up to discussion so that you understand exactly what this thing is.
Right.
Clearly, you've learned about it for the first time today, which again, gotta love Clubhouse.
I know, right?
Crazy. So I want to give you who we are, what we do, where we stand now, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there. All right. So first things first, there's let's talk about memberships. So we've got the Black Dolls. They are the drivers of the show. That's our primary membership. These are Black women. Okay. Then we've got our porcelain dolls. You'll hear us call them porcelain dolls, porcelain pals. These are women who are not Black that support us. Their role in the Black Doll affair is to support the Black Dolls. They do something that, can you guys still hear my phone, or is that just me?
Yeah.
You can hear it?
I can hear you.
You can't hear it? Okay, hold on.
No, your phone? Which phone? You mean your
My
Clubhouse?
phone.
No, we can't hear it. Can't hear it.
Okay, hold on.
If they call on you,
We can hear
no.
you.
they're not gonna call on you. They'll be like, "Where are you? Where are you?"
Now, if it were my room, I wouldn't be doing this, but
Right. Okay.
I'm donating my time on stage.
Okay.
And so I can pop in and out. I'm still on stage though, but if they call on me, and I doubt they will, I won't be there, but I'll be back. Okay, and so they do something that the Black Dolls can't do. They talk to Black girls and say, empower them in a different way. Little girl, look at your beautiful skin.
Right.
Who has skin like yours?
Yours. Yeah.
Who has hair like yours?
Right.
You're fueling a multi-billion-dollar beauty industry, because after all, I started this whole thing based on the doll test, where Black children chose the Black doll is bad and ugly and the one they didn't
Yeah, I
want.
remember that. Yeah.
So as Black dolls, we come into the party and we empower them, whether we're blue, Black, can't tell if we're Black, size 2 or 22,
Right.
but we come to life as living dolls and empower them in the only way that we can, as a Black woman, right? And we talk to them about the journey of a Black doll and why it is beautiful and yet challenging, and what they need to do with that journey and on that journey, right? Then we have our Black doll brothers. And they are on board to do what the Black dolls can't do and what the porcelain dolls can't do. And they are to empower a girl in a way that her father would, her uncle would, a male role model in her life would.
Yeah.
And they can do it in a way that only they can, right? There's nothing like a man and his big hands and his deep voice and holding a child and saying, don't ever let a man put your bowl on the floor. You are a doll, not a dog, right?
Yeah.
It's powerful. Our Black doll brothers can be Black, white, or brown. Some of our Black doll brothers we've got that you would know of, husbands and brothers and uncles around the country, right? But we've got Danny Strong, who penned the movie The Butler. He co-creator of Empire on Fox Television with Lee Daniels. He's a white man and super supportive of the Black Doll Affair. And Daniel is a Black Doll brother. We've got Tay Diggs, who we just mentioned.
Yes.
So those are the three memberships. Then of course we've got our baby dolls, and those are the ones that we do the doll deliveries for in the tween summits. The Black Doll Affair is for women and girls. A lot of people think dolls and they think little girls, right? Well, the Black Doll Affair empowers little girls. The Black Doll Affair empowers women and girls.
Everybody.
It started in 2007. The intention after seeing the doll test was to empower little girls, right? And the concept was be a doll, give a doll. Be a doll by showing up in that Black Doll t-shirt, because that's how you're going to be identified as a doll.
You have to buy yours, by the way. I just ordered mine. So I ordered mine with the doll, the ambassador kit. So you have to order the ambassador kit.
All right.
So be a doll, give a doll, show up as that t-shirt so they can say, oh, look, a Black doll, right? And that kickstarts the conversation. It's the only way we're identified. What was that?
No, we're just talking
my
about
community is gonna go crazy because
for
they're just loving me coming in with this whole African vibe, and then because I mean I don't want to interrupt you, but just keep going.
There's a lot. There's a lot that we're gonna do. There's a lot we're gonna do.
I'm soaking it in.
I promise I'll shut up and let y'all talk. I just want you to.
I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting. Yeah.
Go.
And we both have daughters about the same age too. So yeah.
And how old are they?
My daughter's 17 and
Mine
Hanan is 19.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah.
So be a doll, give a doll. That's our slogan. That's been our slogan from day one. Give a doll means when you come to the Black Doll Affair, whether it's a scheduled tween summit or it's we're feeding the homeless, whatever we're doing, whether we're having a sisterhood summit at a beautiful cabin in the mountains, bring a Barbie doll. That has been the slogan for the last 15 years. Be a doll, bring a doll. Barbie became the doll of choice because one, I wanted a quality product.
Right.
If you're going to gift a child a doll, Barbie is the best in terms of quality. Barbie's the icon.
Exactly.
She, as I say, she's the Oprah Winfrey of the doll.
Exactly. She's the Oprah of dolls, to be honest. Yeah.
Dolls. So, and out of all dolls, if you're going to buy a doll, that's the one that's ubiquitous, right?
That's right.
Everywhere. So we got behind that concept. But the other slogan that we created from day one, so that's the Black Doll slogan. The Black Doll Affair slogan is we're pretty, philanthropic. And we put an ellipse between pretty and philanthropic because I wanted people to pause at Black being beautiful, acknowledge all of this beauty and all of its likenesses, shapes, and form. Yeah. But, here lies a Black doll. She was beautiful, right? That's not what our life is going to be about.
Right.
We get to keep the pretty. God snatches the pretty somewhere around old age, right? And then and asks the question, all right, now that the aesthetic
is done,
so-called beauty is done, what else you got?
Yep.
Who have you helped? And I also understood that if a child is choosing a doll that doesn't look like them, there's a reason for that we have to own.
That's
right. We can say all day long that, the news is making us look bad and but no, they're just there to shine the spotlight on bad behavior.
Right.
It's us choosing to call each other bitches and snatching extensions and just behaving undolling. Right. Yeah. And so I thought that that's not normal. My niece should be proud to select a doll and say that, as she is to this day,
it looks like her.
Doll, or it looks like Dana, as she calls me. Or I want the doll that looks like my mother or my grandmother, right? But if they're not selecting that, then there's something in there that I felt like we needed to own.
Right.
And that was our behavior, right? And so the pretty philanthropic was the philanthropic part was to address the behavior. When we go out within this lifestyle brand and social club, obviously we're being pretty philanthropic by bringing those dolls that we will give away at a doll delivery at the end of the year. But what else can we do? I wanted Black dolls around the country to be seen on Saturday morning feeding the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be seen Saturday afternoon hugging on each other and getting along.
Right.
I wanted us to be seen giving back.
Yep.
And so as much as I created this club, I also created it so that it was based in philanthropy. And try not to get choked up. This is where I start to cry, but I'm not going to.
No, it's fine. Like, I was listening to you this morning when you were talking about looking out and looking at the homeless shelter, and I was just like, wow, wow. Thank you. I don't know. I just thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank me and thank the dolls that helped me move it around the world. So because of that, I partnered with leaders in different cities that I call Ambassadolls. And they took the movement into their neighborhoods. And as much as they would go together and brunch with each other, and collect those dolls that they could give away at Christmas, I would also see them painting schools built by Black women.
Wow.
Or schools built by the city, but were dilapidated because, Black kids go there. So
go there. Yeah.
Is that school, right? So I was able to partner with all of these hearts, and you can see, I don't know if you guys can see
Ambassadolls. Yeah.
Ambassadolls. There's a heart there. It's in the Ambassadolls logo. It's in the Black Doll Affairs logo. It has been there from day one. Started with Be a Doll, Give a Doll, Pretty Philanthropic, Black Dolls, Porcelain Dolls, Black Doll Brothers. The heart has always been in the logo because I wanted there to be heart in everything that we did. I also understand that Black women have a pain body that keeps us with an attitude, right? Let's own it. We could say that as Black women. We don't want to hear from anybody else.
Right.
But we're very familiar with the sister girl attitude.
We need to have that attitude.
We've been in the grocery store and passed the sister girl, and instead of her stopping and going, "Oh, breathtaking,"
right,
she'll roll her eyes at you.
She'll roll her eyes at you,
right? Or pretend not to see a Black girl rise.
Right.
Ignore her success. Get the director's job and appoint everybody around
her and not that one. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
Sad but true. And so what happened as we grew one year after the next is I just started finding souls like me.
Yeah.
Souls like you. As we went around the country, we started to, there's an unofficial slogan that it's not a Black doll affair unless there's tears and chicken. We all know that to be true because anytime we get together, because there's love in the room and because love is from whence we came, from whence we start. I tell everybody in the beginning, when you enter the Black Doll Affair, you're not just wearing a t-shirt, you're becoming a doll. You're not becoming a role model. In the very beginning, we had t-shirts. This is one of my Black Doll t-shirts, and it's got Black Doll on the back.
Oh, there we go.
Beginning, I made the mistake of let's put Black Doll on all types of t-shirts. And then I was like, I don't want to be anybody's role model because I'm Dana Hill and I'm not perfect. And I'm sorry?
You're unique and different.
Yeah. And I should have the right to do that. I should have the right to be and do whatever I want. And so I tell people, let go of the attitude when you get here. If you've got it, be willing to grow from it, right? Mm-hmm. If I call you, don't tell me if I have to call you out for attitude or ill behavior. Don't call me saying, well, Mama Doll, that's just how I am. well, then it's time to grow.
Right.
I ain't mad at you for being that way. You know, we all have pain bodies. But if you come into the Black Doll Affair, learn, play, grow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So let go of the
I
shit.
don't know why people don't realize every day is a learning. Every day is a learning day.
It's ego.
It's
It's
ego,
ego.
total ego. It's ego and it's fear. My sister always says there's two emotions, love or fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this isn't church. You've got gay people, you've got trans people, you've got women that go to church 8 days a week. You got
Sounds like my grandmother.
we do. And I can, you know, here, Mama Doll, here's the Bible, here's Barbie. I'm cool with it, right?
Right.
We've got atheists.
Yeah.
You know, we've got
everybody.
We've got everybody. We've got women who are putting themselves through Spelman. We've got women who have 4 daughters at Spelman. You know, we've got women eating ramen noodles for dinner.
Mm.
We've got women who live in 10,000 square foot homes.
Yeah.
Roll up in your Mercedes Benz. Roll up in your Bentley.
Roll up on your bicycle.
Roll up on your rollerblades. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All welcome.
Yeah.
All welcome. But don't roll up thinking that, oh, it's the Black Doll Affair and they play with Barbie, and Barack Obama acknowledged all of their philanthropic efforts, and the women of Brown versus Board of Education are Black dolls, and this celebrity and that celebrity. Yeah, that is what we've achieved in love. But at the end of the day, I have zero ego.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people will tell you that. None of my t-shirts say Mama Doll. In 15 years, I've never printed a t-shirt that says Mama Doll. I do not need to stand out at a Black Doll Affair. My t-shirt says Black Doll like everybody else. The only time you know that I'm Mama Doll is when I have to be Mama Doll.
Right.
And that is when I see you taking the movement back.
Mm.
And that is not behaving lovingly.
Appropriately.
Yeah. So when the movement goes into Canada, in love.
You have no idea. Oh my gosh.
You don't understand what I'm thinking right now.
You have no idea. No idea.
I think I do.
Because the culture is different here, right? So what we have had to deal with is a silent racism.
Very silent.
Right?
It's right there,
and
but you don't.
It's right there and it's not there. And one of the
we
ways
deal with that here too. We deal with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's easy to know that it's racism, though.
But here it's
like
not.
even when we cross the border, we can feel it because it's in our face. But here, it's not there.
So silent.
But then you feel it and you hear it and you
in their attitudes.
In the attitude, and then what has made me stand out is because when I started to feel that and I couldn't understand it, I kind of had to confront it and then boldly come out and stand up for it. So I remember when I started my nonprofit in Brampton, Youth Engagement Activity Club. And it was for those low-income kids that their parents couldn't pay for skating and, you know, all the fancy sports. And these kids were like kind of hanging, and you go to the mall, you see all of them hanging pants and you know, parents not around to scold or hold. You know, everybody's just doing whatever because there was that free time. So I used my summers to get those kids together, put them in debate clubs and cake decorating classes and crochet classes. And, you know, we did soccer. So it was just the way that I felt to make kids feel valuable. But then I moved to the Southern Ontario, which is a rural area. And I find that every kid is playing hockey. Every kid is in, you know, being that my son wants to play baseball and this. And then and then everybody's driving miles and they're going. I said, hey. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And then he starts to experience racism at school. And the first thing I do is and I go to the principal and I'm like, look, no one is going to joke with me here. We were only one of about 5 Blacks in this town.
In the city.
I deliberately came here. I said, I'm from small town and I know how to live in small town and be part of community. So no one's going to overshadow me here. I'm here because I want to be here.
Good for you.
And so I set up the African experience is what I call it. I said, I'm going to contribute to tourism. because I want to help you bring my people to this town because you guys are dead. Like there's nothing happening here. So let's work together.
Right.
So I've been working with the mayors, the people contesting, with the politicians, trying to work with, and just set up the multicultural fair, the first one ever. And the tourism is working with me and excited because I realized that if we didn't push hard like that, they wouldn't be coming anywhere to me now.
Yeah.
They come to me now. Oh my God, Khadija, I want to, and they're bringing people introduced.
She recently blasted them on social media.
I just went on social media. And
I'm here to serve and grow this community. I'm not getting support.
Like it or not, I'm here to retire.
How many orders did you get the next day?
Like it or not, and then on Friday she brought there's a tourism lady who's very well known. She's called Tasty Road Trips. She brings people across southern rural areas, wine tasting and all that every summer. And she was my guest on Friday. And we just had this chit chat how she's going to start bringing people deliberately to me as the experience, because I gave her the whole experience. And I'm talking to them about Africa, and I'm talking to them about racism. I'm talking to them about diversity, accepting that because I'm here, there's a spotlight in this town that you need to appreciate. Because if you don't recognize it, if you guys fear me, that's why I'm out here, because I want you guys to get to know me. Because then when you get to know us, you see the power that we bring.
Yeah. That we bring.
And then one of the nonprofits that I now have a friend who owns it, she's doing the beauty, what's the name of her nonprofit? And I just thought about her. She's a white girl, beautiful girl. She has a nonprofit for girls that are just talking about how to be the best that they can be.
Right.
And I just wrote a book telling
she can actually be an honorary doll.
Yeah, I just wrote a book and I put my son's name. It was a kid's book about my son's battle with the chores. And how mothers have been having a hard time with kids doing chores. Yeah, and I put a black kid in the book, and I went in my town and I said, you all need to know how to end racism by making your kids see that there are other people in books that they read. Yeah. And then I've written this book so that your kids, starting with your kids, seeing that in a storybook, there's a black kid, there's, a brown kid, maybe can help us end this whole racism thing. I said, because racism is just empowerment mentality for those of you who don't share that there are other people that exist. So I confront them with things like this. This powerful connection to what I'm trying to do.
So congratulations on your work. Our women are just like you. They are school teachers. They work at the Pentagon. They're stay-at-home moms, but they're all invested in empowerment. And in terms of racism, we try not to tackle it head on because we're not Black Lives Matter.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not on that level. Yeah.
Yeah. And our porcelain dolls are just as important as our Black dolls. We are very aware that racism exists, but the Black Doll Affair is not so much about racism.
And that's what I'm saying to you, that this girl, sorry to cut you, this lady who has the thing that we're doing is someone who is trying to recognize the difference and teaching kids that whoever you are beautiful. And so it's a subtle way of making them recognize that we're all the same, doing the same things, and not necessarily calling out, this is racism, this is Black, this is white. And it's just a beautiful way that we're kind of coming out and being on the same platform.
Yeah. It's the doll test obviously was originally done during Brown versus Board of Education. Right. That was the Supreme Court case that desegregated American schools. And so clearly that basis is racism. That whole case was about Black kids being segregated into their own dilapidated schools. Right. And moving forward, what we address is the effects of racism in terms of how Black women are the lowest on the totem pole in society,
right?
And what that means for us. But we really try to stay away from hotbed
topic conversations
or racism, because again, love. And you can focus on y'all need to see us and y'all need to, that's not who we are. Right. We focus on we need to see us.
Yeah. Right.
True empowerment is you don't give a shit what other people think of
right.
you.
You're just there.
It doesn't matter
whether they like it or not.
Yourself, and you can recognize me and come to me and enjoy me. If not, I'm here.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so for us, when people come to the Black Doll Affair, and they say, they hear the story and they go, well, my mama never bought us white dolls. She wouldn't dream of it. And I go, well, your mama didn't do it right. She didn't do it right. She meant well, But that's not what the Black Doll Affair is. We teach in the Black Doll Affair that the first conversation a child in this world, a Black child, should have is the doll that looks like her, because that is on the level that a child can understand.
Right.
Look at her hair, baby. And you get to have a conversation. Barbie's hair is silky straight, and little girls love this silky straight hair. But if you take Black Barbie with the afro, then there's a conversation you get to have with a little girl about her hair, right? By the way, the Black Doll Affair is responsible for Barbie having an afro. Just want to throw that out.
I know. I read that a few years ago. Yeah.
So awesome. I think it was 2000. It was when they were bringing out the fashionistas, their new line of fashionistas.
The fashionista line. Yeah.
Yeah. They called the dollhouse and was like, "Mama Doll, can y'all hop on the phone? We got this new line of dolls." And beautiful. It was the most diverse line that Mattel had rolled out.
Yeah, that was really amazing.
That was amazing.
So amazing. And they had all of these dolls, and they had this chocolate Black doll, and she had long silky hair.
Oh.
And I said,
really?
Okay, we've got Black women with long silky hair. That's
no. Just to introduce a Black doll, though. I'm saying the first Black doll should not have silky hair.
Well, it wasn't the first one. The first Black doll was 1980. The first Black doll given the Barbie name was 1980. But if I can send you guys the link of the history of Mattel Black dolls.
Yes.
But it was the first in this line. And there was an opportunity, and they asked me what I thought. And this was the kickoff, if you guys will remember, 5 or 6 years ago, this was the kickoff of the natural hair boom.
Yes.
And so all of these independent doll designers were taking Barbie and kinking up her hair.
I've seen that on social media.
Yeah. And they were reselling these dolls.
Yeah.
And I said to them, I said, y'all wouldn't know this is from the porcelain doll side of the family, but that's why I'm here. People are taking Barbie and they're having whole classes kinking up her hair because there is a natural hair movement happening. And they are giving Barbie natural hair. And y'all got to get on board. Take that baby girl right there and put in her hair up. They did. So again, the conversation is Mama meant well, but the child should be given a doll that looks like her so that you can have that conversation about her.
Yeah.
After that's done, everybody's child should have a toy box that looks like the United Nations. Because even in Africa, there are white people, right?
Yeah.
So that's the world we live in. And then once a child first learns who she is, because that doll that looks like her was the conversation that she had, i.e. the conversation with the doll in the mirror, then we open up the toy box and talk about the rest of the real world.
Right.
Let's talk about the white doll and your relationship with her. Let's talk about the Asian doll. Let's talk about the Ken doll. Let's talk, So I'm very, very proud of Mattel because the doll has evolved, and it is in a wheelchair, and she's bald and
all sorts.
A man bun.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So what else do I want you guys to know? Quick story about how we got here and how I got here, because it's a story that every Ambassadoll should know.
Yes.
When I was a little girl, born and raised in Oklahoma City, I was born to a father who was immensely handsome, super tall, 6'6".
Wow. Are you tall yourself?
I am.
You can feel it.
I can see.
You can see the shoulders and the
she's
neck.
regal though. She doesn't even have to be tall. She looks tall just by her carriage.
Yeah, she looks tall because I can.
Well, go on.
Yeah.
I used to be 5'9". I think I might have shrunk a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
I think
she's what, 6?
5'11".
5'11". No, you're 6. I'm 5'11". She's 6.
Okay.
Nice. My sisters are. I've got one sister that's 5'11" and another one that's 6 foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're tall people. But my father was blue black with this smile and charisma.
Wow.
And he was, I always say, he was the Idris Elba of Oklahoma. Right?
Oh.
That's funny. Y'all know him, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And so my mother, caramel colored woman that she was, beautiful woman. And you know, I'd say 3 shades darker than my mom. She was dark caramel, but when they fell in love, he was the Bachelor of Oklahoma.
Right.
And people were appalled that he chose my mom.
Wow.
And because she was dark skinned.
Oh, wow.
And they just thought, now what the hell is Hal thinking choosing Edna to have children with? They are going to have some really black kids.
No, they never did. It was terrible. Yeah.
And so they did what they did. They had some really black kids, and we were, they did, you know, everybody predicted, and it was true. But we love that about us because we were so proud of our beautiful, handsome father and how he rocked his chocolateness, right?
Yeah.
In terms of his charisma. And so for me, I want to let my sisters tell their own stories and use their own adjectives for their childhood. But for me, I was daddy's little girl. And my parents ended up very early in childhood deciding that they were going to get a divorce. And I fell apart. I was my father's clone in terms of, they would call me Little Hal Hill. I looked like him, which probably would have been great if I were a boy, but.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And so he had eczema, and, you know, he used to talk about his dry skin, and I ended up getting eczema as well.
Oh,
so
he has something for you.
I have something for you.
Part of one of her businesses is a skincare line, organic. She makes them by herself and everything.
All right.
We're listening. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
It's okay. And so, as you know, with eczema, stress breaks you out.
It breaks it out. Yeah.
And I fell apart. I got the just, you know, daily ounce of breakout. It just covered me. And yet life had to go on. I had to still go to school, right? And so I became, you know, alligator woman at school because I scratched and scratched and scratched.
It's so itchy.
And I was dry, and I scratched out all the hair in the back of my head, and I was a mess. I really was. I was a mess. And so I had to sleep in boxing gloves. Everlast really should make me a spokesperson.
They probably did.
But I slept in boxing gloves, and, you know, you can't keep a good doll down. By the time morning came, I had scratched right through them.
Wow.
And
I had boxing gloves?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
That's how stressed, and I'm not kidding. I was
bad situation.
Bad. And, you know, it was an awful time in life. I would get up very early so that they could peel me off my sheets.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Put me in a Physoderm bath, you know, kind of like the Tin Man, let all my parts get more. And then I'd rush off to the bus and very early. And my grandmother would always say, I don't know why that child wants to be the first one on the bus. She gets to school so early. But I needed to get to be the first on the bus stop because I needed to be the first on the bus. If I were the first one on the bus, I could get the back seat of the bus, and kids couldn't hit me in the back of the head and sing, It's about time, it's about place, it's about time you grow some hair in that space. And so this was my life. And
sorry you had to go through that.
No, it's okay. It's why we're here. And so day in and day out, that was my school bus journey. And then I'd get to school, I'd be the first one in class so I could get the back desk. And then when the school bell rang to go to lunch, I'd go to the girls' bathroom because I didn't need to go be in this big social room and be teased. No, thank you very much. It was in the girls' bathroom that the Black Doll Affair was born. Day in and day out, I would see the popular girl, the mean girl, come through and ignore me and laugh at me and step over me and you know, call me alligator woman or just pretend I wasn't there. The people that wanted to be in her group would laugh with her because they weren't empowered enough not to. The girls that were being initiated into that group would look at me, and I could kinetically feel them say, "I'm so sorry. What am I going to do?" Right?
Yeah.
It's her or you, and who wants to
I
be
know.
there?
I know. It's her.
I'm going to choose her.
Yeah.
And so as a child, I'm just processing this. And then the principal would come in and put on her lipstick and pick out her fro and do whatever she needed to do. And could be she and I in a bathroom, and she would never say anything.
Oh my God.
As a child, I just would think, like, every day, really, you're going to come in here and just ignore me and just like, do you not see me?
Even ask, what are you doing?
She didn't even ask why.
Sometimes she would say hi. Sometimes she would say hi. Sometimes she would say hi. That's the most I can say about her. Teachers, same thing. Some teachers would come in and talk to me.
Were they white or black?
Both.
Oh, wow.
Both. But mostly what I got from it is that they were afraid to address me. They didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah.
And so that's when I learned that even the people, the adults that we put in charge of the children, aren't always in charge of the children.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah.
Don't always know what to do.
Yeah.
They don't always know what to do. And sometimes they're so in their head, they don't see you.
Yeah.
And so one day, fast forward, to make a long story short, too late. But fast forward, the ugly duckling becomes, the beautiful swan. And after hearing, how ugly I am, I started to hear people say, "Wow, you're so pretty," or "pretty to be so black," right? We've heard that.
Oh yeah, how they used to backhanded compliment sometimes.
Yeah.
That is such a nasty thing to say.
And so by the time I started to hear people say how pretty I was, it didn't matter because I'd already been,
knocked down
So much.
Yeah, it didn't mean anything. It was I said thank you, but it didn't mean anything. So I started modeling. Take this from the girls' bathroom. Then I'm on the streets, and people are like, "Oh my God, you should model." So I started modeling. I took out a billboard. I'm really fast forwarding this story. I took out a billboard in Times Square in 2005.
Okay.
2005. 2005. I took out a billboard in 2005, hung it on the busiest street in the world, Times Square, using all of my chocolate likeness, because I couldn't get an agent. People on the street would say how pretty I was, but when I went into the modeling agency, they'd look at me like a turd in a punch bowl. We've already got our one black girl. They could have.
Can you imagine?
They could have 5,200 blonde, blue-eyed white girls, but they only needed one black girl. Mm-hmm. And so that was the time that I learned to market myself. And I was like, I don't need for y'all to market me. I can do it myself. Because how dumb are you that you won't market me? Hello, I can make you money.
Yep.
And so I put out a billboard on the busiest street in the world where Clear Channel said over 1 million people a day would pass my billboard. And I called it God's Spokesmodel. And the concept was hire me. And don't just hire me to be the face of your campaign, but hire me to sit at your table so that you know how to market to us.
Yeah.
Or at us and not to us. That's why I love the Adam symbol on social media, because it calls you to action. I wanted companies like Godiva Chocolate to use chocolate faces in their ad campaign. There was a cologne out by Steve Black called Black. All his models were white. So I put together all of these proposals. Dear Steve Madden, dear Godiva Chocolate, and all I had to do was call me, and I was going to be a one-stop shop. I'd be the face, I'd be your marketer, and I'd be the confidant at the table to make sure that your cash registers are
right.
Right? Well, I hung on the busiest street in the world for 3 months and got no takers, none.
Wow.
None. There was a beautiful stripper that was advertising her show that would sell out every night. And there was a millionaire who took out a billboard looking for a wife, and his story went viral. All the news stations that I was hoping would cover my story covered his story. Oh, wow. And so I just decided to take down the billboard.
Nobody even said, what is your billboard about? God spoke, or
Wendy Williams did. Wendy Williams did see my billboard. She was leaving lunch from Victor's. I wish I'd saved the message. I did not. This was, I think it was on my Pocket Talk beeper back in the day. But she left me a message saying, "Oh my God, I just left Victor's. You are one bold woman. Call me." And she was on the radio at the time in New York.
Yeah,
Radio,
yeah,
yeah,
I
she was
remember.
Yeah. So I tried to call her, but her people blocked me. I could
Oh,
not.
wow.
Just was like, you
You've been
know,
on her show since?
have never, ever.
It's
talked
the time
to
to
her.
call her, girl.
I know. Every time I say that story, people say that now. And people
know,
just
that's
like,
why.
Call Wendy.
She would be. What?
No, this is the
I've
time
never
to call
told her.
Wendy.
you know what it is? Everything that's happened to the Black Doll affair has always happened in ways that it's like, oh, Barack Obama wants to acknowledge you. Oh, Barbie called. Oh,
Yeah.
just it just happened. So
Very organically happened.
So, but she was organic too. It's just that they didn't give you
she
the
didn't.
chance.
Yeah.
for people wouldn't, they were like, Wendy doesn't have you on the list. Wendy didn't tell us you were calling.
But the timing is so right now, though, for you to call her.
Well, maybe we will, Dulce.
Yeah.
So she blocked me, and that really was it for me. I was like, I'm done. I'm going to take down this billboard, and I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm out of a lot of money, and I'm tired of being a publicist, and I'm going to move to Atlanta. So in 2006 is where I was sitting in my kitchen watching the Oprah Winfrey Show and saw her present Kara Davis, who at the time was a 17-year-old Black girl who the show was What's It Like to Be You, and walking in your footsteps, however you are. And I saw Carrie's 7-minute documentary called A Girl Like Me, and she went into a Brooklyn daycare. And she talked about Brown versus Board of Education and the doll test. And I saw this little girl who looked like me, dark skin, puffy hair. And Carrie asked her the same questions that were asked in the original doll test.
Test. Okay.
With these two identical dolls. Which doll is the good doll? Which doll is the bad doll?
Yeah.
Which you want to play with?
You want to play with? No. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
and the little girl answers, it fails, miserably, the doll test, answers all the questions, the Black doll is bad, ugly, and the one she doesn't want to play with.
right.
Yeah, Carrie goes back to the little girl and she says, well, let me ask you this. Which doll looks like you? And you can tell in this video that the little girl is just upset and crushed.
After she had answered that way. Yeah.
How dare you make me align myself with the bad, ugly doll? I just told you who she is. So now you're going to ask me this?
You're telling me that I'm her?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I always say that's how they got on the Oprah Winfrey Show. That's how they got Oprah's attention, right?
Yeah.
Because she slows down the camera as the little girl pushes the Black doll towards the camera with crushed
Disdain in her.
pain in her heart, right?
Like, so this is me.
So this is me. Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
So this is me. And I'm sitting in my kitchen and I'm just like, oh my God, like that fell apart. I just start crying because dolls, in that moment, I realized why I was born to Hal and Edna Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I realized why I was Alligator Woman. I realized why God
Purpose.
my studies in the girls' bathroom. I realized why I went into agencies and they treated me like a turd in a punch bowl. I realized the reason I hung on the busiest street in the world and was able to have my kind of beauty ignored was because I am the Black doll.
Yep.
I am the Black doll.
Wow.
So I threw what was supposed to be a one-time Christmas party. And 15 years later, I'm just going to brag on us a little bit. Because when you make your mess your message, when there is divine order, magic happens.
Yeah. And I say it a different way. I say when preparedness meets opportunity.
I love it.
Because you've been prepared your whole life.
I just
and
didn't
the
know.
opportunity comes. And once you recognize it, boom, success happens.
Yeah. But as much as I do believe that opportunity is good luck is when opportunity meets preparation, as much as I believe that, a lot of that is also divine order.
Yes,
I do believe
It's
actually
always
fine.
at the right time. Yeah. My
Yeah.
God. Yep.
Yeah, I in my 50-year-old footsteps believe.
You stop saying you're 50. Shut up.
I'm not being 50.
You're 50.
I know we're almost 50 too.
I feel like we're just being like 28
I
right
know.
now. She's
Love
30.
it. Love it.
We're 28, you 30.
You're
Okay,
30,
we'll leave it.
because this is the new 30.
I'm 50. I'm the black doll. Who are you?
I know, right? Wow, that's amazing. Amazing.
Yep. So divine order, meaning when you make your mess your message, then you can change the world.
That's right.
We have Presidential Service Award from the first Black president.
Wow.
Black dolls showed up at a parade in Atlanta where on election night for Barack and all of the, you name it, civil rights characters were there.
Yeah.
Somebody got a hold that the Black dolls were in the audience, and Reverend Jackson sent somebody to the audience and was like, we want the Black dolls to lead us into church tonight.
Wow.
Martin Luther King's church. Congressman John Lewis, the late Congressman John Lewis, acknowledged the Black dolls with our own day on the calendar in Georgia because of the work that we did in the same neighborhood that raised the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Black Doll Affair. We see you. Huge. I've been recognized with a legacy award in Washington, a living legacy award in Washington, the Alligator Woman.
Wow.
The Black dolls are mentioned in college textbooks.
Wow.
We have been in Vogue, we've been in Oprah, we've been in Essence, we've been in Vanity Fair. It partners with Barbie, the Oprah of the industry.
Yeah.
Sees the biggest department store in the world, Gabrielle Union, one of the biggest names in Hollywood, Misty Copeland. Hello, Misty Copeland, historian historic public figure and ballerina that she is.
Yep.
Like, why? The Brown women of Brown versus Board of Education.
The purpose.
Purpose. 60th anniversary of Brown. I thought, well, that's where the doll test was. We should celebrate that in the movement. I called the Brown Foundation and I say, hey, we want to celebrate you all. Cheryl Brown calls me back, which is Linda Brown's sister, and says, hey, Mama Doll, I'd love to be an honorary doll. Yeah, let's celebrate. The Black dolls get invited to Topeka, Kansas for the 60th anniversary. They asked me to speak on stage with the 5th little girl who was in the church with the 4 little girls in the Baptist Street bombing.
Oh, the bombing.
Yeah. And I'm in this room and I'm on stage and the Topeka governor is giving me a button, not a key, a button to the city. It is remarkable. So the legacy that we're now going into Canada.
Yeah.
Out of the blue this morning.
No, this is a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
Because sometimes we look at you guys, we're like, hey,
you seem so far away.
Ontario is just right here.
Y'all are far though. Before I got on the phone, I Googled it. And I was like, it's Washington State. So I'm thinking like,
we're just 2 hours from Michigan.
You're a 13-hour drive from Washington and a 6-hour flight from Washington. That's
Yep.
Because I was just about an hour away from you when I was in Vancouver then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just across the border. I went to Costco across the border every time.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't even shopping in my town. I was shopping in the US.
We're about 2 hours from Buffalo, New York.
From Buffalo from Michigan too.
And Michigan.
Well, that explains it because I went to Toronto with dear friends in college and it was the coldest. I'm not kidding.
During the winter.
Yeah, you came in the winter. Why did you come in the winter?
Because he was a hockey player.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Friends for skiing, her boyfriend.
Okay.
But we got off the plane going through the airport in Toronto, and I'm talking to them, and we're laughing and talking. Well, the doors open in the airport. Girls, I literally stopped in my tracks. It took my breath away. It took my breath away. I have never been that cold, and they knew it was going to happen. I was like, crazy cold.
Minus 40.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
I love our cold though.
I wasn't ready. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. From an Ambassadoll point of view, the difference between, first of all, again, we're all black dolls, right? How do you become a black doll? No membership fee. Just buy your black doll tee at blackdollaffair.com. Black dolls can buy their t-shirt, roam about the world cabin, and never show up at a Black Doll Affair. Of course, we want them to show up, but they don't have to.
They don't have to.
The movement by rocking the t-shirt and telling the story, right? Ambassadolls, they are my Christmas team.
Yeah.
They're the ones in their neighborhood that puts on Christmas for at least 10 little girls. We've got women that do it for.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that. Like we have communities here. We have a lot of refugees here in Kitchener. We have a lot of refugees coming in from Africa, a lot of people who've crossed the border from the US into Canada with their families because they're trying to, they're running away from persecution and stuff. Since Trump and all of that, right? There are people here who need this. These little girls
don't have to come.
I know, right? These little girls
See,
a
white lady came and bought Nabil's book
Oh
the
my
other
goodness.
day for her little 2-year-old niece. She's never had kids. She's a white old woman. She comes in and she says, I want to buy this for my little 2-year-old so she knows that she's not the only one in the world.
Of a black doll?
No, the book. I'm giving you an example.
of
The
your
book
book.
that has the black boy in it in the story.
Wonderful.
So this is what I'm trying to say to you, that this is perfect timing because the market is not even just us black women. It's the porcelain dolls that we need more on our side right now to help the world see that this is beauty in the black child, in the black woman.
During the George Floyd, when all that stuff was happening then, there are people in my church because it's predominantly white area. And some of them kept asking me questions. And she said, one of them said to me, she said, I support you and everything. The thing is, being in this environment and being raised the way that I was, I don't get it. What does this mean? How does this impact you? How do you, she's like, I've never experienced this. I don't know what it is. I've never done it to anyone, but I just don't know what it is.
Didn't even understand.
So they were clueless.
Yeah.
About everything that was happening. So we had to start explaining and explaining and explaining. But the thing is, it is what it is.
It's the beautiful way to recognize difference when they see something different, like that doll, physically different. And for the first time, they're like, wow, a black doll?
A black Barbie for that matter.
Now a conversation can happen. Because again, that's the subtle way that I've been trying to have that conversation with them is, if we remember, it's not your fault that you feel and think the way you think. It's because you didn't see us.
You didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I hosted a little online thing for my community, the Oxford Women in Networking, which is all the business owners in downtown, stores, everybody who came together, and they were like, the George Floyd thing became a kind of, it was separating us.
Point.
It was separating us in the group. People were for it and not for it. People were like, I don't know if it's my fault that I'm white. I haven't ever been racist. They didn't understand it. So I had to do an online live. And I said, ladies, listen, this is about, for the first time in your life, taking a step back, understand what people are saying. Even I have not seen this kind of violence in my face, if I say that, but I have to understand it, that someone else is going through it. That's all that it means.
It's just understanding.
And when we started to speak up, because I was the one speaking up, that I started receiving the messages. Oh my God, Khadija, I love that you attacked that. You took that narrative, because I wouldn't have ever felt this way. I wouldn't have ever understood. I wouldn't have ever done that. That's when I said, okay, to show them is better than to talk about it even.
Yeah.
So to just do the beautiful work around it.
Honestly.
So you're in a space where you don't need to talk. You just need to camaraderie with them in this whole thing, and they come on and they just love it. I'm getting so much support now because I spoke out.
These kids need it. These little girls, they really need it. It's just
we've taken on more porcelain dolls since Clubhouse than we have in 15 years.
Wow.
And I think that is because of Clubhouse. I was talking to Lauren, we have Ambassadolls and Ambassadolls. The women on my immediate team are Ambassadolls. She's one of our Ambassadolls. And I was like, I don't understand why the influx of porcelain dolls. And she said, well, think about it. We've been at Black Doll Affairs talking to Black women and telling them about porcelain dolls and telling them to tell their porcelain friends about it, but they're not in the room. She's like, you're now in a room
Yeah.
Black and white women.
Yeah.
So duh. And I was like,
And
okay,
for
that
the
does make
first
sense.
time,
And George Floyd.
and
Exactly.
I was gonna say, for the
Yeah.
first time, they're now self-aware.
Yeah.
Totally.
They're now self-aware if they're a Karen.
I won't say
Or not.
first time. I won't say first time because again, I don't ever want to discount.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody's racist, and not every white woman doesn't get it.
It's just they don't get it. They don't know.
Well, some don't get it.
Yeah, some
They
don't.
still and they will never get it.
We want to be careful with our words. There are some that one of my best friends, intrinsically gets it. I think she gets it more than most Black people get it in terms of the history of racism when I was in the house through COVID, protecting my asthmatic lungs.
Yeah.
Julie was in the streets with her Black Lives Matter signs, with her Black friends, and because of that, she's an honorary member of our family. But we just, again, it's like with the toy box, as within the Black Doll Affair, we just want to be careful.
Yeah.
With words like "they don't get it," because we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that term with us. They all like watermelon. We don't like that.
Well, we talk about that when we're talking to each other,
Right? Not to them.
But we're recording, so
Yeah.
there's that. And again, and I'm, what I'm doing now is giving you the opportunity to tell you who we are, and so that you understand it and make sure we are all on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm really, really adamant about that. I don't like to hear words like "they" when referring to me, because we're a kaleidoscope.
That's right.
And so are they. And once we start seeing each other and not throwing each other in collective boxes, that's how we change the world. We had a conversation in Clubhouse that was called a couple weeks back, which we should have again. So-called angry Black woman and crazy Karens meet. And rooted in love, because that's what we do, Black and white women got in the room and talked about our pain and our privilege and our experience. And the truth is, particularly in 2021, it's a rare family that's not diverse. It's rare. My family, literally, from Salt Lake City, Utah to Oklahoma City to Atlanta to Alabama. Like, we literally have Asian, white, German. It's a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of families are that way now, biracial something. Discovery Channel has told us that I think by the year 2050, the world will be brown. So, and that's because we're not on the plantation anymore, in segments. We are everything. So, okay. So the difference between a Black doll and an Ambassadoll is Black dolls t-shirts. Ambassadolls sign up for Christmas parties, and they say, "Mama Doll, I want to throw a Christmas party in this neighborhood." They register their party in that neighborhood. If you go to blackdollaffair.com and look under Get Involved, click Ambassadolls, you'll see a list of our Christmas Ambassadolls. They throw a party with every dolly around the country on the first Saturday of every December at 1:00 p.m. following our hashtag. Every year I choose a theme and a hashtag that people can follow. So you, at 1:00 p.m. in whatever time zone, you can see Black Doll Affair parties happening in Hawaii. You can see them happening in Houston. You see them happening in Alabama. You see them happening, wherever. It's from sea to shining sea. But it's all at once. It's all on the same day. People can't do it on Thursday. People can't do it on Sunday. It's because we want to break the internet, if you will, with Black beauty and empowerment. And then after that, they retire, unless they come to me and say, "Hey, Mama Doll, I'd like to do an official affair because this is happening." But we right after that party, we usually go and back to our dolling lives and whatever else we're doing in life. And then in July, we call it Christmas in July, we all get back together, and once a month, starting in July, we start planning our parties. So it's pretty easy, but it is a commitment in terms of registering your party. It's $150 registration to register your party annually in your area. You have to have, the biggest is that you have to have a background check. I would say the biggest difference between an Ambassadoll and a Black Doll is that you have to pass a criminal background check. Clearly, I meet people on the internet. Most of my Christmas Ambassadolls I've never met, and yet we've got women that have been with me for 10 years. But if I say, hey, Jessica is the news calls and says, hey, Mama Doll, we want to cover the Black Doll affair in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. Okay, well, call Taisha. All right, and Taisha's in Tulsa and I'm in Tacoma. I need to know that Taisha's background check is clear, and that she's safe to go around the babies and to handle my name brand. And she's not, pocketing money and
right.
all the normal stuff. So, but Black Dolls don't have to have criminal background checks because some Black Dolls
participate. Yeah. Is it that they just participate in activities? They don't actually host or run. Okay.
They're just members, basically.
The only time a Black Doll needs a Black Doll, let's say you guys decide to move forward and you get a team of women and you turn them all into your Black Doll team and they become Black Dolls. Mm-hmm. If they attend your party, they have to have a criminal background check. Any Black Dolls that attend my party have to have a criminal background check. When I feel like I'm not going to die from COVID, I'm going to open up my house and have a Black Doll affair in Tacoma. Anybody that comes in my dollhouse has to have a background check. I met these people on the internet. I don't know them like that.
Right.
So if you throw something in your house, they have to have a background check. So, but there are women who become Black Dolls and they just want to meet me in Brazil.
I'll call you back.
Part of it.
I'm in a meeting right now. Okay, I'll call you back.
They don't have to have a background check.
No. I'll call you back.
But anytime it's in a private dollhouse, a private setting, even if it's at Girls Inc. or the Boys and Girls Club, that's considered a private setting. Yeah. And the Boys and Girls Club expects for us to be delivering women who are safe with the children that they're delivering to us. Right.
So are you partnered in Canada with the Boys and Girls Club?
I'm not partnered with anybody in Canada.
Wow.
We have never been in Canada. We've got dolls who have bought T-shirts from Canada, but we have never had a Black Doll affair in Canada, and we've never had a Black Doll Ambassadoll of Canada.
Well, I'm your first Black Doll Ambassadoll, honey.
Definitely, and I work with them.
I am going to create history.
Yeah, right now I'm working with the Black.
We really need this here.
See, Ontario.
She works directly with Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
So Ontario is direct extension of the States.
Yeah.
It's the most Black populated province.
Yeah.
And we are very aligned with, everything that happens in the States. The way I listen to my CBC is the way I listen to CNN. And know all the politics, and we're Democrats, so we are all in that political, following everything. So, but the thing is, the environment is a lot more receptive of anything that they are not aware of, anything that they are not used to. And if we come from a place of love and teaching and sharing, it's a wonderful experience. Right. I broke through that the first year I got into this small white town. We're about maybe 100,000. And now people recommend people to come to me, and I'm always trying to work with organizations. I'm hosting the first multicultural food fest and keto fair. I remember when I launched the keto fair 3 years ago, everybody came from across Ontario to attend. I'm like you, when you were telling your story, I just felt so connected because at some point I just needed to be seen and heard. And instead of waiting on people, I just started to spend my money advertising myself. I produced a radio TV show myself. Didn't get any ads. I put all my business ads in the show for the TV show because it's like, see me, because no one else wants to showcase me. So see me, hear me. And it was about just landed, the diverse issues, immigration issues that people face when you're different, when you're new, and how to assimilate, how to integrate, and all that kind of stuff, and confidence and self-awareness. So you are just talking to someone, and she likes to pump anyone who she believes. so much. She pumps me up so much, and I'm saying, Edie, hey, take it easy.
I love how you pump each other up.
So you got someone who's gonna pump this up, and I'm gonna stay right here with her, and I'm gonna be with her. I tell you, this is an amazing opportunity.
Awesome. Well, I will tell you, however you all decide to proceed, we do not mix ambassadors.
Okay.
Meaning, you can't have two ambassadors on one party.
Okay, so
so
one party, meaning you and I can't be ambassadors in one party. You have to have your ambassadors, and
I understand. What's a party?
the Christmas.
Oh, you mean the party?
You're like,
Yeah, I drove an hour to her.
Actually, you know what? She's not supposed to be here today. I bought chicken for her, and she came to pick. She can't. I know, right? So she came to pick her chicken.
She lives closer to Toronto because I moved so far away. So I have to drive an hour to her, and she's an hour from Toronto. So I basically am in a totally different community where I'm doing my thing. And even if we were to have parties, it wouldn't be in the same location. So if that means
what is allowed is Ambassadoll to Black Doll. But you can't have two chefs in one kitchen. It has no work.
Yeah. So how does it work? I thought I was just gonna support her.
Okay.
Are you saying I can't?
No, of course you can. I'm saying you can't have two leaders. You can't have two chefs. So
she's the leader.
So she would be an ambassador if she decides to be an ambassador, and she would throw her ambassador party, and we would put Ini Udo.
Yes.
Ini Udo.
Yes.
Ontario, Canada. As our, and so that's where that party would take place.
Yes.
If you decided to become just a general membership Black Doll, then you could attend Eni's party.
Okay.
Right? You can even help Eni with her party. But I wouldn't check in with you. You wouldn't make our phone calls.
Yes.
You wouldn't be in the Ambassador group. It would be Eni reporting back to her team.
Yes.
Okay.
My Christmas ambassadors, and then they meet with their people, their partners, their dolls. Obviously, any doll that becomes a Black Doll is a Black Doll Affair doll. But in terms of, we don't have our ambassadors who have their team of dolls. Their team of dolls don't come on the Christmas ambassador calls. Because one ambassador, we tried it in the beginning, and no matter how
all you need is one person.
Besties we are, somebody always ends up wanting to be in charge.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Period. So one chef. Now, if you decide now you both can be Christmas ambassadors, you would just have your own party and your own city, show up on the call as, where do you live, Khadijah?
Ingersoll.
So Ingersoll?
Yeah, London, Ontario.
Ontario.
If you check the map, it's the London, Ontario area.
Okay, so then you would be listed as the London, Ontario Christmas ambassador, and then you would throw your own party. Now, y'all could, what we would do, and what we do, like today, all of the, because we've had our first call last week, and this morning, all of the ambassadors got teamed up with buddies, right? So you have a buddy system, because I'm not always available. I'm running a movement. And so, let's say for whatever reasons you missed the last call, you call your buddy. Hey girl, what did I miss? Okay, well, let's get on a meeting. You could have Zoom meetings with your team.
Okay.
You don't have to be a part of. Did you understand where?
Yeah, we get it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so definitely when you talk about me in London now you're talking about over 1 million people now that we have access to in my area.
Yeah.
And then Eni has over
also
1.5 to 2 million in her area.
Well, we don't expect to get millions of people at your party.
No, what I'm talking about is the city size. The city side.
Right. So what you would do is partner with. So let's say, Eni, you say, well, I'm going to partner in my city with millions of people. I'm going to partner with Girls Inc. And then Khadijah, you say, I'm going to partner with the Boys and Girls Club. And then you throw that party. Again, the minimum is 10. I steer clear typically from new ambassadors coming on board, throwing parties for hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a hard way to grow.
You want to do it with an organization that has that focus on kids and
We want you to focus on kids, and we also, for the first year, I want you to focus on the Black Doll Affair.
yeah.
Making sure that you understand just how to, which is why we meet once a month, directing everybody. We have dolls that throw big parties like that, and they make the news, and they partner with various different organizations, and there's hundreds of people there. But I don't find it to be a good way to start out, because you're more focused on managing an event as opposed to having a doll empowerment affair. So once you throw a party, a small little boutique party for a group of kids, and you get that right the first year, then we'll go, okay, girl, listen, look what you did. Year one, rookie. Right. You can go on and have a bigger party. So we like it.
So what would probably work better is for us to use this platform, I starting first, and you being a black doll, and working on the first party together, understanding.
Let's understand the pains,
the in and out
growing pains.
And understanding that, and then split, and then do it in separate. In different
and
cities,
probably
right?
even getting more people together
to get involved,
to get involved in Kitchener,
and
understand the
everything.
movement, and really now decide.
It's not just even Kitchener, because we're going to be stretching out. I work in Toronto, so it's even stretching out as far as Toronto. Because
that's what I'm saying. You'll be getting people from all over to come to the Kitchener first party, to understand it first.
There's a lot,
before, that you have to start somewhere.
I envision. How long is summer there? How long is it hot?
We're done. we're September 1st. September
when school's back.
When schools go back.
And that's probably the last signs of summer, because before September is over, we have signs of winter.
August, end of August is the end of summer, to be honest. That's really how
I'm thinking this Christmas is going to be big. This year, our theme is paper dolls. We've partnered. So every year for Christmas, I choose a theme. And then I find a face of the doll sleigh to get behind that theme. This year, acknowledging that the Black Dolls, being the largest consumer group of Black Barbie, Mattel's brand of Black Barbie, that we have been responsible for millions of pounds of plastic.
Wow.
And addressing the plastic pollution. We're asking the dolls this year, paper, not plastic. So for the first time ever, we're focused on paper dolls.
Wow.
And the face of the sleigh is Danny Washington, who's a Black mermaid of the organization Big Blue and You. And so the theme, so when you throw your party, you get behind the theme, you use that hashtag. So we expect ocean themes and world saving themes and green themes, things like that.
God, I don't know how I came to this house today and just met somebody like you. Because you're like my dream, like you're my head.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Because I'm all about sustainability. Like I preach it in my skincare line. I preach it in life.
I think you should be an Ambassadoll. I'm just saying. But what?
No, we'll start this one chapter. We'll start this one chapter. I'm going to throw my weight behind
Playground.
Yeah.
We don't like the word chapter. And let me tell you why. Yeah.
Oh,
and you didn't know this. I'm just informing you. But we don't call them chapters anymore, because we used to be chapters, and our DC chapter just got so big. At one point, it was bigger than even Atlanta, and egos got out of control, and I lost control of it.
Oh, wow.
And the chapters were just very dividing. People started feeling like, oh, our chapter's better than your chapter. And I'm like, no,
this is not what this is about.
This isn't what this is about. So I shut down that chapter. Lost a lot of money doing so, but I didn't do this for money.
Oh my gosh.
And I kept all the ones that were willing to get in formation with love. And we start calling them playgrounds, and we took advantage of the digital age that we can all be one big happy family on the internet.
Yeah.
And so when we get together, we have conventions and different doll playgrounds.
Okay.
So wherever there's Black dolls on the ground, boots on the ground, we call those playgrounds. And that keeps us together as a family, as opposed to divided into chapters.
Right.
Oh, nice.
That's actually better. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely better.
So can I ask? So what is the main purpose? So these Black Doll events, so the parties, the Christmas parties, what is, apart from, yes, being an empowerment event, etc., what else is the goal of this party? What is what is the aim or the vision for the Black Dolls for Christmas parties, apart
So
from
the,
empowerment?
Good question. So the mission of the Black Doll Affair is to change the way Black girls are perceived, more importantly, perceive themselves, right? Always hearkening back to day one in the doll test. And so the reason why that's such an excellent question is when we kick off with the Ambassadolls and Christmas in July, and I give them the theme and I tell them, what they're doing and who they're doing it with, and they start planning their parties. The last meeting that we have is to get back to the emotions of it all, the empowerment of it all, the reason we're here. After you've blown up the balloons and set the table, do you have a lesson plan that addresses every little girl in your room? If someone has eczema, what are you going to say to her? If someone is biracial, what are you going to say to empower her? If child is plus size, what do you have for that child? If the child has natural hair, what do you have for that child? If child has childhood cancer, what are you going to say to that child? Our mission is to empower the women and girls in our room, because make no mistake, if you throw a good party where you are pouring into these little girls, you'll look back and mama will either be crying or she'll say, she's not that way, right? Because the little girl will open up and she will give you her story.
Yeah.
So the goal is to empower and crack anybody open that's holding on to something that they need to let go of, that's keeping them from their best selves. When a little girl leaves the Black Doll Affair, she needs to know that her life has changed. She needs to know that her dark skin is beautiful. She needs to know that her afro rocks. She needs to know that her biracial skin is just as beautiful as the Black girl next to her. Everybody needs to know in the room that we don't say things like, well, I mean, what are you? Are you Black or are you white? Right? So we take our audience, because they're private parties. Public party, you don't know who's coming. Private party, you got a guest list and mama has told you what this little girl needs to work on. They walk away, they feel better about who they are, and they are better off in the world. We teach them not to bully. We teach them, if they see a bully, to befriend the person that's being bullied. You empower. So that is the purpose of the party, is to empower the people in the room.
Okay.
And then that doll activity this year, because it's paper doll, should be centered around conversation, and the kids using paper dolls to have that conversation with you. And any gifts that you give them, typically they leave with a Barbie doll. This year they're going to leave with paper doll. Now, where you get that from, we'll have Black Doll Affair. We'll have a Christmas store that opens up where y'all can go in and get stuff for your party. And or maybe you go online and you find somebody else that makes paper dolls. But you get behind the movement with the message of that year, so that when we walk away, we go, oh, well, what year did we do Black Doll Magic? Oh, we'll follow the hashtag Black Doll Magic. Last year or 2 years ago, we did You So Black Queen. And that was Teresa the Songbird, who has the poem You So Black, that went viral. She was the face of the sleigh, and her poem resonated throughout the movement.
Oh, yes.
We added queen, and at every party, the Ambassadolls chose a Black queen from history. So maybe it was Queen Sheba, or maybe it was Meghan Markle, right? Or maybe it was their grandmother who they perceived as a queen. Yeah. But so it's up to you. I give you the meaning of the year, and you guys turn it into a message.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So this organization that my friend runs, and I support her, it's called Beautiful Empowered You. And it's for like 6 to 14-year-old girls that we try to empower. They also have the t-shirt thing where, we buy the t-shirts, and she hosts workshops, and it's all white, 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 and white. And I feel like, would it be that kind of person you want to approach, say, to be a porcelain doll, and have her expose her girls to?
Be awesome.
Well, yeah.
That's the collaboration. I really said it opposite. I give you the message, you all give the party the meaning, right? So that's where you come in as leaders of your party, and then you come to me and say, so the Christmas Ambassadoll have 60 days now to come back to me and say who they're partnering with. I don't knock partners unless, of course, it doesn't match with our movement, right? But if that's who you want to partner with, I think it would be a beautiful party, particularly since we're talking about pollution and beach cleanup and,
Right.
and in this George Floyd era. That'd be a beautiful party.
Wow.
Again, we love our porcelain dolls.
Because they're hungry for that. They're hungry for that now, to learn about the other person. Like the first person that walked through my door this morning, 78-year-old woman. I've been wanting to come here. I've been seeing you on Facebook. So what do you have for me? Take those through. They're hungry. And because of COVID, we've not been able to travel. So it's just, I want to learn something new. And coming and saying, we really appreciate Khadija. I really understand what this is about now. I'm glad you spoke. I couldn't have seen it this way. So I feel like there's a hunger to now bring them in and understand that we see ourselves beautiful, and we want you and your girls to see that we are beautiful, and then acknowledge us as beautiful, so that together we can celebrate each other.
I love it. I love it. We have Stephen Sumner, who's a Black Doll brother who happens to be deputy of Doll Affairs now. He was just appointed, but he's also a former designer for Mattel and Marvin.
I just saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's super talented, but he's now with LOL Dolls. But Stephen lives in California, but flies out to Rhode Island every year, and he has always one of our most diverse parties in Rhode Island. And the only thing I ever say when people ask me questions about the race of their parties and the nationality, the Black Doll Affair is for Black girls, right? That's the purpose of the movement.
Right.
And so when you go to your partner, they shouldn't say to you, well, Eni,
what about because we have a lot of Indians here who are considered brown, right? So, but they're not Black.
No, it's Black girls.
No, I understand. No, I'm saying people will, I know, I can hear those conversations happening. You know what I mean?
So anybody can come to the party, right?
Right.
With this, again, this is Black empowerment, not Black.
Exactly.
Right.
There's a difference. So anybody can come to the Black Doll Affair. When I say that, keep in mind who we are and who we're for. The Black Doll Affair is to empower Black women and girls. Everybody's invited. And so why is that important? Because your partner shouldn't say to you shouldn't allow your partner to say, well, let's give out some white dolls too.
Nope.
That's not what this is. It's the Black Doll Affair. If they're asking you to do that, they're probably moving you towards.
It's like saying, white lives matter too.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
We know white lives matter.
Right.
But
and all lives matter. And blue lives matter.
Blue lives. I say no.
We know.
There is a reason that we're
exactly.
We know.
Because Black girl needs uplifting.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
That's it. And so everybody can come, but everybody's getting a Black doll. Period. That's it.
You can use it to empower your Black friend.
It's a great conversation for white children who the world centers around.
Right.
To have a conversation about what it means to be a Black doll, to be different. So one come all, but everybody gets a Black doll.
And that is the concept that I'm hammering at now. It's not about us advertising to us Black people. It's about advertising us to the white people to embrace
to the world, really.
So when I invite you to try my Blackness, is because I want your kid to be exposed to that early on, so that as they grow up, they appreciate that we're all the same.
Respect and love. Yeah.
You know,
that's it.
And that's the purpose. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So I had another question. Where did I write it? Okay, so in preparing for these parties, I know that there's a good amount of coordination required in terms of details, etc. I know that you would also expect a level of consistency with how, exactly, with how everything is presented. I mean, it's just like a McDonald's, you know,
Yeah.
they have the golden arches and it's the same everywhere because that's the expectation, right? And
I love that you say that because I say that every year.
Okay.
Make it yours, but I need to be able to know that I'm walking into McDonald's.
Exactly.
You know, it's Oklahoma McDonald's, but I want the same Big Mac in
That's
Houston
what I'm saying about the theme.
because
Right.
of brand
Right.
awareness.
The theme is what will keep it all consistent.
No. It's not
the
just the
world.
theme, but it's not just the theme though. It's also the branding.
The branding.
Right?
Branding, yeah.
Because the branding is actually
Branding is
really
everything.
important.
Yeah.
Like it's not just we could have a room full of mermaids, but what shows the world that these mermaids are connected to the black doll is what I'm saying. Like
Great question. And so part of the party planning, which is why we meet 6 months out, is the Black Doll Affair has I'm a publicist by career as well, but we have a PR company, ABC PR, and a publicist, Karen Gray, and so when you're planning your parties, people can't just go out and make up stuff and then we get to see it on December 4th. Anything that you print or design has to go through PR approval.
Okay.
You can't go out and create events where people can just log on and you've created some web space, you know, black-doll-affair.com. Trust me, it happens every year.
Teacher, I'm sure you've seen that before.
It happens every year. And I have to say now, how many websites do you think the Black Doll Affair needs? Do you think
One.
you think the world needs the one that I made?
Yeah.
Or you think that they need to be like, do I go to this Black? You know, so we have a whole uniform meeting and people can make unique banners. And we give them the logos. Like last year, or when we did Teresa, you saw Black Queen, we put a crown on the Black Doll Affair logo that everybody had to use.
But hold on though, do we order from you or like?
Yes, we have a Christmas store.
Okay, that's what I was. Yeah.
She already mentioned that, girl.
No, she did.
Said
but
they had a Christmas store.
I know, but I'm just saying because just as she said, if I produce my stuff, it still has to go through PR for testing. So it's not, I don't have to buy everything from the store, but there are some items that I have to buy from the store.
Here's where you're both right. So you're both right. Y'all are fine. This is why I separate Ambassadoll. Here's why you're both right. Because if you are making a unique design with the approved logo, there's no need for me to go to a printer and get one made.
Okay.
You can take that once approved, go to your printer and get one made, go to Vistaprint, go to wherever, right?
Yeah.
We will make things that we, send to our Christmas Ambassadolls for uniformity. And then we have, let's say, you know, you need extra. You can go into the store and buy some extra paper cups. At this year's theme. So that's why you're both right. We have, every Ambassadoll has to have a focus table. And what's a focus table? When you first there's a sign on the wall that says "Welcome to the Black Doll Affair." Photo release. You come past the sign, your child's going to be photographed. You are too, and Mama Doll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
they will ask permission to use that photo. Then there's a table, the Black Doll Affair table, and it has a banner, and it has a black tablecloth, not plastic, linen. And it has Barbie dolls on top of it, or it has, you know, whatever the theme is. It's just your Black Doll Affair focal table. Every party has to have that. That's the only thing that I micromanage in the movement. And we have a whole thing. You've seen it on Pinterest where it's like a theme table.
Yeah, theme, yeah.
And that's where your backdrop is. That's where you take your photos. Throughout the party is up to you. You can decorate the tables you know, in an ocean theme or mermaid. You can do whatever you want to, but it is that focal table that is in uniform in terms of branding, and that is our brand table. So that really was a good question, girls.
Another question I have.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be better if we worked more to see if we could get all, say, cities connected to one city in one province, like in a state, to have that one playground where everyone, no matter how far you are, you want to take that trip, almost like
That's Atlanta.
that's Atlanta.
That's HQ. That's
Yeah.
HQ.
Okay.
That is where we started. That's where we have our own day in the state of Georgia. That is the neighborhood that Dr. Martin Luther King was raised, and that is where Black Doll Affair started. We didn't go around the country until 3 years after we got started.
Wow.
So Atlanta is our HQ, and you know it's different now because of COVID, and I've been very strict because of it, and we still don't know, you know, what's going to happen. As much as we're getting out of the house, there's still.
So people would actually travel for that party, just deliver. That's what I want Kitchener to be.
So
Yeah. But we will also have, you know, we'll go to Cabo together, or we'll go to Houston together, or Miami. We've done, you know, all the Black Dolls meet at the Super Bowl, and we rented a big mansion in Miami and did a whole Super Bowl weekend and volunteered. But Atlanta is our HQ. That is where, you know, until I moved to Tacoma, that's where, you know, it's like, oh, let's go to Mama Doll's Big Hat Brunch, you know. So depending, and I haven't made the decision yet, Atlanta will always be our headquarters. Because I'm on the West Coast now, Tacoma will probably become the new doll
headquarters.
Party. Not that Atlanta will always be HQ.
Okay.
Even from a business point of view, you know, that it's Atlanta. It's Black. It's
Canada. We can throw a party from here. We can organize a party in Vancouver and come down and have you come over.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what I was thinking when I said how long does summer last? I think next year, you know, once we do this, since we've never kicked off in a city where we didn't throw a big party.
Okay.
So I would love to, once we get past Christmas, host a Black Doll Affair in Toronto, summertime.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that would be huge. I think I think it would probably be our biggest one yet.
And you know, the thing about this is, on top of it, if we give it a little time, and that's why I was just kind of thinking, because I'm looking at the timeline, we're kind of opening up a little bit more. In the US, the COVID restrictions are not as strict as we have here.
Oh, y'all just got out of the house, right? Have you?
Yesterday. I mean, today, yesterday.
We're both fully vaccinated, right? But the thing is, we just got our second vaccine. When was it? So it's really, we're just going into stage 3 now. They just opened up stores for shopping in store last week. So it's really crazy. So this year might not be the best year to do it, because we still have to plan anyway.
Well,
like there's a lot
now we can't do it. Well, what we should do is put a date on it.
Right.
We can do Christmas for sure.
This Christmas?
Yes.
No, we can't do Christmas. Christmas is cold, and we can have Christmas parties.
Yeah.
You want to do Christmas in July?
No, just a Black Doll Affair in Toronto.
Black Doll Affair.
Oh, just to launch it after.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you something, girl. Christmas is not as cold as February in Toronto.
Yeah, well, I'm not coming in February either.
Christmas is not as cold as March.
Nobody's gonna come with their long turtlenecks and big nose.
Oh my God!
We want to look nice.
June now.
Yes.
Talking June.
We're talking summertime and flip flops.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because we need time to plan. We can't just. We need time to plan.
Yeah. Anytime we do something like that, a launch, it's a planning. People have to buy plane tickets. We got to partner with hotels.
Yeah.
So we should put a date on it, because I'm super excited about this.
We're
July 15th, somewhere in the middle of July.
Wait, where's the calendar? Where's my phone?
Well, we'll have to run it through what's already on calendar.
Yes.
Oh, okay, right.
Somewhere in July will be good.
But it'll be July 2022.
Because kids got off of school the last week in June.
Okay.
In Canada,
yeah,
July is the first.
We're off school later than you.
Yeah, so we're off school the last week.
They're off in May.
They're off in
May.
May.
They're off in May. We're off in June.
Yeah. And so
Right.
July is the first month where every Canadian gets excited about summer.
Yeah, and we have
then-
Canada Day, July
Yeah, Canada
1st.
Day,
We have
you
all
can-
that stuff, right?
And then when we get into August, people are thinking about school again because
Oh,
school starts
in September. So
Okay.
July is perfect.
And June is bad because why?
Students are in school.
We're
the
just
kids
yeah,
that you want them to come out.
yeah.
Are writing exams and stuff.
Yeah, it's just about the time that we're beginning to prepare to get into summer in Canada, because
Oh.
our summers start in June. Kids are off school in June, not May.
Our summer started in July because kids are
Well,
in the U.S. June is summer because kids are out of school.
Because kids are out of school in May, right?
Yeah,
but for
it's-
us,
it's
kids are out of
different.
school in June.
Yeah,
That's the
sad.
difference, right? So
All right.
Yeah.
So first, December 4th,
Okay.
yes.
Black Welfare. And then after, and what, so Amy, I need to get information to run your background check. And I don't know if you want to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where I'm going to stop the recording
Okay.
so that your information isn't recorded.
Do you do the online version, the online background check one?
I do. No, there it is.
Where am I?
What?
Well, I was just thinking. So what do you need? Oh, you're still
Your
processing.
information.
Still trying to, I need to figure out how to stop. Oh, there it is. What do you need? You know how to stop recording? Stop recording.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. What